You are listening to the Success Leaves Clues podcast,
where we're having conversations with regular people doing outstanding and legacy-changing things in corporate America and entrepreneurship.
If you're looking for the blueprint to help you make less mistakes on your journey to freedom and ultimate purpose, then this is the podcast for you.
And now, here's your host, Dr. K. Dr. K.
We got an amazing episode as usual. Glad to see y'all back. It is 2025. We are here live from Dubai.
Yes.
Look, I have somebody special with me. Y'all have seen her in episodes before. It's the one and only LaToya Washington. I could go down a whole list of things and accomplishments she's had in her life, but I'm going to start with only some things from 2024. What are we talking? TV show host.
National TV show host.
International speaker. Broker owner.
Real estate broker and owner. Yes. I've been doing a whole lot.
Well, I'm glad to have you here. Look, for those of y'all who've been following Success Leaves Clues podcast, I want to thank you and I appreciate you. But we have a new segment added, and this segment is special, especially for people who've been in entrepreneurship or struggling with entrepreneurship, because in this segment, LaToya and I are going to share some things that we've been through as entrepreneurs, as business owners, just life in general, how we've been able to find success in certain areas that you may struggle with. That doesn't mean everything in life is perfect, and that's the whole point of this episode or this segment, is to show you that, you know, sometimes things are tough, right?
Very. Sometimes it's tough. This year taught me a whole lot. When I say this year, we're in 2025 already here in Dubai, but 2024 taught me a whole lot. A lot of learning lessons. Just because you know, see people's social media and stuff, you never know what they're going through. You never know what they're dealing with. And we've had some losses this year, or 2024. We also had, you know, some business deals that didn't go quite right. You know, so it's just been a lot of hurdles, but in the end, the success is still there. You know, we still are resilient and pushing forward, so nothing too bad.
So I got so much that I want to get into, but before I dig too deep into it, I do want to let everybody know that we have a very, very, very important and special gift just for you. I need you to watch this until the very end. And if you watch it until the very end, I got a gift for you that is going to change your life forever. So please, you know, stay to the end, and I want you to receive this.
Yeah.
But Toy, you talked about resiliency in that whole recap, and the unbreakable entrepreneur. That is,
yeah.
That's you. That's you as a coined phrase. That's your brand. That's your marketing. And being unbreakable, like you said, 2024 really gave a lot to show, you know, how you're unbreakable. But what is it about that tagline or that coined phrase again?
It came to me one day as I was working on one of my keynotes for a conference, and it honestly, to me, is I have been through so much, and the little things sometimes can take people out. And the big thing, so if you don't know how to deal with the little things and to overcome, you know, maybe just like, I don't know, it could be that day you had something planned, right? And that plan just didn't go how you had it in your head.
Yeah.
And it might change someone's entire day. But you have a choice on how you want to handle it. You can either accept, all right, listen, the day is not going as planned, let me go with the flow. Or you can take it and let it change your whole day, and now you didn't accomplish anything. So for me, with Unbreakable Entrepreneur, I've been in entrepreneurship now for over a decade, and I've encountered so many, I call them lessons. I don't say failure, because everything has taught me, you know, new things to help me get to where I am today. Yeah. And I don't let it break me. I'm very resilient. I bounce back. Instead of saying, woe, it's me, it's always, you know, what was I supposed to learn from this? this moment that I'm in right now, I changed my mindset to say, okay, got it. I thought I saw this, but you was actually telling me to go this way.
Yeah.
Okay, let me go that way. And that helps me. It helps me a lot to just change things up. And a lot of the stuff that I dealt with in 2024, it would break some people. It would definitely take some people out of the game. It would take you into a depression, but I refuse to, let that happen. With my faith and who I am, I take those learning lessons and I become unbreakable. I learn my lessons from it and I keep pushing forward. So,
there's so many broken people in the world.
Yeah.
And I think people become broken because they take one thing and they let it ruin the bigger picture. Mm-hmm. So like you were saying about how you overcome a certain thing and you're able to still accomplish what you want to accomplish in that day.
Yeah.
I think some people are broken because I hear a lot of people when they come out their mouth and they say, well, I had a bad day. Or they say 2021 was a bad year, a terrible year. I can't wait for 2022. Like something miraculous is going to happen different
yeah.
in 2022.
Like you're not going to have any obstacles.
No obstacles.
Yeah.
And then they make the same post or the same comments or the same statement in 2022. They say this was a terrible year and I can't wait for 2023. And I think what they're looking at is this one bad thing that broke them.
Yeah.
Instead of looking at the picture and saying, well, a day is 24 hours. A day is, multiplied by however many minutes and however many seconds. And you had something that was a roadblock or an obstacle for you that messed you up.
Just
for a couple minutes. For a couple minutes. But you still had another 23 hours that were phenomenal in that day.
Exactly.
So I love being unbreakable. I love that you're unbreakable, and I appreciate that perspective. On how we got to look at things.
And I think too, dealing with different things in life, having that exposure to different challenges, different opportunities that come up that I say yes to, and then it might not go as planned. I don't say that was a horrible business or that was I shouldn't have took that risk, or because everything has a calculated risk, right? You just have to prepare for it, learn your lessons from it, and move forward. It's a moment in time, but you have to learn how to be grateful and appreciate. You getting those lessons, you only having a moment of that time that is not so great or not what you expected. Figure out what you're supposed to learn in that moment. If people start changing their mindset with that.
Well, I like failing forward.
Yeah.
Because all right, so now, you're talking about taking the lessons and not the loss. And I look at failing forward in that because just because something didn't quite work out the way you thought it would, that might be looked at as a failure to you, but it's not.
Yeah.
Because now you're one step closer to perfecting it.
Yeah.
To doing it the way you want to do it, to get to that end goal that you want. And so it's I use the football analogy of moving the chains.
Yeah.
So many people in life are constantly looking for they're looking at the end zone and they're wanting to make that touchdown or that big play, and that may come to some people in a Hail Mary.
Yeah.
But most people, you're just going to move the chains, and if you keep moving the chains, before you know it, you're going to look up and you're going to be in the end zone.
Yeah.
So,
and I think about it too, we're here in Dubai right now, and we were supposed to have.
And the flies are crazy right now. Look,
listen, they want this cappuccino back.
We've been here. We've been in Dubai for days. I swear I haven't seen a single fly.
Not a fly. And today they wanted to join the podcast.
I said, let's go ahead and record.
Have a cup of cappuccino, but
and they out here. It was one fly. He went and got his homies.
Yeah, I think he mad because I popped his other homie, but he need to just go.
Yeah, it's like 4 of them now, and they unbreakable.
But yeah, yesterday we're here in Dubai, and we had plans with our kids, and we didn't let our plans. They didn't go quite as planned yesterday.
Does it?
And we did not let that take away from it being New Year's Eve.
Mm-hmm.
Still having a great time, still enjoying each other.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a full day planned out, and it did not go that way at all. We got up, was supposed to go to the pool. Our daughter slept in. Like, we didn't make it to the pool. Then we changed it up, decided to go grab lunch, go to the mall. The mall was crazy busy.
Yeah.
Crazy busy. Half of the stores we wanted to get into, we didn't even go in. And then our New Year's Eve plans, we planned to be on a rooftop, seeing fireworks.
Beautiful too. Infinity pool,
You know,
rooftop. They described it as a party. It was going to have so much stuff, and it was a party.
it was a party,
It just
just
wasn't-
not for us.
It just wasn't where we wanted to be.
Yeah.
And
So
so-
we ended up going to, we were supposed to go to another event before that party anyway, but we ran out of time. So we were like, no, let's just go prepare for the, New Year's Eve party. And then we ended up having to backtrack, and we were like, you know what? Let's just go to Global Village, our original plan before the New Year's Eve party. And we went there and had a blast.
But that's life. You got to pivot.
Yeah.
And if you get so fixated on this one plan and everything that you wrote down, or everything that you
Yes.
had in your mind, or everything that you envisioned, that's a fantasy.
Yes.
And when
Yeah.
you put that, when you couple that fantasy with reality, that's where so many people get let down.
Yeah.
Their hopes, they feel like a failure because how they pictured it.
Mhm.
But when you really take a step back, you are successful.
Yeah.
Like, you did this. You
Mhm.
you created this. You had something that was in your imagination, that was in your mind, and you was able to manifest it. You was able to create that thing into reality, to something
Yes.
tangible. So how is that a failure?
It's not
It's not a failure. It just
not.
doesn't. It might not measure up to what you had
in
in
your mind.
in your perfect
Yeah.
mind.
Yeah.
But I love traveling. I love that we have this opportunity to be here, in Dubai, and the stuff that we do, the stuff that we do for our kids.
Mhm.
So, for those of y'all who follow us, you probably know that I say our kids were maybe around 10 years old or so,
Yeah.
and we stopped buying them Christmas presents.
Mhm.
So we still do the whole, Christmas decorations, Christmas lights on the house, Christmas tree. We're celebrating Christmas and the birth of Christ,
Absolutely.
but we are not so fixated on the gifts and wrapping something that was on a Christmas list. Now we say, hey, let's spend that money
On experience.
on experiences. Because believe it or not, we looked at it and we would go and buy our kids $1,000, $1,500, something like that. I don't know, crazy amounts of money on gifts. You got to think, if they want a PlayStation, an Xbox, whatever it is, plus games, plus clothes, plus shoes, that stuff adds up really fast.
It does.
And so we looked at it, we said, hey, let's take them on a family vacation. We did it one year kind of as an experiment.
Mm-hmm.
It worked out great. The kids loved it. The amount of
Yeah.
memories, the amount of
The
memories that we
memories,
created.
the experience, the exposure.
Yeah.
Exposure is big.
Exposure.
Like, they get to see so many different cultures. They get to, one, start being more empathetic. They start to have gratitude. They start to understand different foods, languages, environments.
That opens
And
your
it-
mind
yes.
so much, because when you're inside this box
Mhm.
of your, not only America, but so many people are inside this box of their state, their city, and
Mhm.
sometimes not even their city, but their neighborhood.
Their neighborhood.
You're from the east side, you're from the
Yes.
west side, you're from the north, the south, and you stay in this hood
Mhm.
and you never leave.
Yeah.
So
You
You're-
think that's it?
you think that's it. Your vision of the world is so big,
It's this box.
but the world just seems so big.
Yeah.
The world seems so untouchable. It seems like you can't do anything, you can't accomplish it. It's for that person. It's not for me.
Yes.
It's for them.
Mm-hmm.
They
It feels
can-
impossible.
They
It
can
feels
experience that.
unreachable.
They can live like that. They
Yeah.
can do that. And then you travel around and you start to see. You remember when we was in Miami,
Mhm.
and we was in that, I forget the name of the hotel, high-end hotel. We had the brunch and all of that.
Oh, yes. That is at Oh goodness. Y'all, we go to Miami a lot. Don't judge us. It's called I forget. It started with an S, but it's a really good place.
High end, hotel.
Yeah.
Down one street off of South Beach, so it's right down there in the center of everything.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the kind of place you pull up to, and it's valet, but it's Lambos, it's Porsches, you name it, G-Wagons, right? So it's very high end. It almost looks like it's not for you, if that's not the world you live in, right?
Yeah.
It seems like it's not for you. So we go in there, we like to experience these things. And there's this lady in there.
I want to say the hotel is like 3,000 a night.
Yeah, it's like 3,000.
It's like 3,000.
It's up there. But there's this lady in there with her son. He can't be no more than 3 years old. Like he's just starting to walk.
The little boy was decked out.
Fly,
man. Decked out. Versace, Burberry. I mean, every designer was on that baby.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, I see.
So, and I'm going back to traveling because traveling opened my mind in a way by experiencing that, right?
Yeah.
So I look at kids, especially younger kids at 3 years old. I'm not spending that money on them.
Come on.
Why? They're going to spill something on you.
Yes.
What are kids going to do? They're going to play around. It's going to get dirty. Or they're going to grow too fast.
Yeah.
And they're going to outgrow it. So I'm not buying no kid no Versace.
Yeah.
But experience and travel opened my eyes to that. It's like, no.
And this little boy had all his designer on, and the server came over and gave him a nice little lamb chop, y'all. He wrapped it in a napkin for him so he could hold it, and he was just in there eating his little lamb chop with his little bib on. And he enjoyed life at 3 years old.
At 3 years old, he also knew what he had and who he was.
Yes.
He would call over the server and tell them what he's looking for, what to bring him, what to have. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
At 3 years old, he already knows that these things can happen for me. That I can have this and I can have this.
Another resort we went to had kind of a similar impact on me. Also in Florida. So this is up like Hollywood, Florida, and the Breakers. So if you don't know about the Breakers, it's in Palm Beach. If you don't know about the Breakers, look it up. This is a billionaire resort. I'm talking the most wealthy people. This is where they vacation.
It was absolutely gorgeous.
We're talking Donald Trump, Beyonce. Like this is where the celebs vacation. So we're there, and it was the same thing. You got these little kids walking around, experiencing something. Now, our kids didn't come on this trip. This was a trip that just me and LaToya went on.
Yeah, to the Breakers.
But it's something that we look at and we're like, man, our kids should experience this.
Yeah. Why not?
Our kids.
Why can't they? Why can't they? Right? And I think a lot of times and it starts off with our mindset. Understanding that same, so we started off by not purchasing Christmas gifts. Mm-hmm. We said, you're going to throw this box away, you're going to throw this toy away. Like, instead, let's do experiences. Those are memories, these are things. So when you do that, and now you're letting the kids decide places. So we let them pick, right? Even to get on this trip.
Yeah.
We let them pick 3 places they wanted to go to. We do the research, we decide what we're doing within our budget that we want to do. Man, these kids got out here and they are having a blast.
Absolutely.
But it also gets the kids to thinking, right? Because now they have to go research. They got to go look up where they want to go. Other countries, other places. And so, like when we went to the Breakers, these kids, they understand it. Like they know it. This is their lifestyle. This is what they're used to.
So what they're used to at the Breakers and places like that, there's etiquette, right? Mm-hmm. And so there's rules that if you don't understand it and you haven't been to these places, you don't really understand it.
Yeah.
Right? So there's you walk up to the doors in the Breakers, you never touch a door.
Mm-hmm.
So
you better not touch a door.
The entire time you're there, you're being catered to. you're being nurtured
Yep.
and pampered.
Mhm.
And so every door you walk up to, if it doesn't automatically open, there's going to be
somebody.
a butler that's going to open this door for you. And if you don't know that, you haven't experienced that, then you're the kind of person that's going to walk up, try to open the door for yourself. There's an etiquette.
There's
to how-
something in that.
There
You go
is.
walk up and open the door for yourself because you don't even realize that it's something possible. Do you hear that? When you don't know it's possible, you're trying to open up all the doors by yourself. When there's someone, something that can do it for you, man, that's good. That's good.
But man. So sometimes, and this is what's so powerful also, sometimes you have to sit back in life and unpack.
Yeah.
So unpack your thoughts, sit with yourself for a minute, and evaluate your experiences. So back in the beginning of the conversation, you're talking about being unbreakable. You're talking about the failures that you have. And people fester and they sit in these failures because they didn't unpack them.
Mm-hmm.
When you sit there and you think on it and you unpack it and you really write it out, right where you started at,
Mm-hmm.
right where you're at currently and right where you're going, and look at how far you've come along on that journey.
Absolutely.
Look at how successful you've actually been. Look at
Yeah.
all the things that you've accomplished.
Yeah.
And when you really sit in that, I think there's no way. It's almost like counting your blessings, right? You know,
Yeah.
some people, they never sit back and see the blessings that they actually have
Yeah.
because they're too busy thinking about what they don't
What they
have.
don't have. They're thinking in the opposite. So they're thinking the negative and not the positive. And that's very, very true. Even I'm a real estate broker and owner. I tell my agents all the time, I'm gonna let you have your moment, but you only get moments. You don't get to stay there. Have your moment. Acknowledgement is the first thing. Understanding that, hey, this is something I need to address.
Yeah.
Taking that moment to feel it, deal with it, and then jump out of it. And I think that's what helps, be unbreakable. Because you recognize the moments, you acknowledge them, you feel it, figure out what needs to be done, and then you move on. And that's the biggest thing in life, period. No matter what you go through. Like 2024, we definitely had some lessons, some hard times, but in those, there's lessons to be learned, and I allowed myself to feel them. I recognize them. I figure out what I'm supposed to get from it. I go to God with it, and I move forward. And I think that's the biggest thing that changes my mindset and how I look at life.
Shifting back to the experiences of traveling, right? I look at so while we were here, we had an experience and a chance to go to the mosque.
Mm-hmm.
And
Man.
listen, this what's the name of it?
It's Sheikh Zayed.
Sheikh Zayed is the largest mosque. It was billions of dollars to build.
Mm-hmm.
So
$545 billion to build this mosque. This mosque, you feel so at peace.
yeah, that's
It is
gorgeous.
so
Marble everywhere,
beautiful.
gold everywhere. Just
I mean, they had a
presence.
12-ton chandelier
12
inside.
ton.
12-ton chandelier.
The largest chandelier in the
Largest
world.
chandelier in the world. Absolutely
Crystal.
gorgeous. And this is where, you can go, you can pray, you can feel the energy, the peace. It was just amazing.
But that experience for our kids, right? So they did not know, Malachi in particular, being the youngest, he didn't know, what a mosque was. So
Yes.
it makes it exposes them. It makes the kids ask certain questions,
Yes.
right? And when they ask those questions, you can just see the wheels turn.
Yep.
You can see their minds start to think, and certain things start to connect.
Yeah.
Maybe something that they saw or learned in school, and now they're actually seeing it or experiencing
Experiencing it.
in person. And that's only the religious aspect.
Yeah.
There's so many other
So many.
cultural differences,
Mhm.
like the way people are over here. One thing that I picked up everywhere we went, right, was how courteous people are.
Yeah.
So we're taking a cab, and traffic is bad and everything. So But I'm looking at how, if you've ever been to another country, right? They don't drive like Americans.
At all.
Traffic signals, traffic rules, lines in the road, they're all suggestions.
Those are all
It's all suggestions.
Even the kids were like, wait.
Red
So
light,
you're going to
they go speed limit.
Oh,
you
these
do
are
what you
just
want to do.
suggestions?
Yeah.
Okay, so we can ride both lanes.
Yeah, they ride in between lanes, they cross over lanes, so all this stuff, right? But what I'm getting at is it looks chaotic.
Yeah.
And I notice how come in America there's so many car accidents, right? But you'll come to a place where it looks chaotic, but it's flowing so smooth and people aren't getting in accidents, and it looks like somebody's going to cut you off, or it looks like they're going to pass in your lane, but they don't wreck.
Yeah.
And so I'm watching this as we're driving, and you know what hit me?
What was that?
They're courteous.
Yeah. Now, I will say that.
In America, everybody is me.
It's selfish.
And it's selfish. It's me first, right?
It
So
is
you get in an accident because it's all about self. It's all about me. And it's like, okay, I'm going here, and I got to take up this space. This is my lane. Where like you're here in Dubai, and somebody looks like they're going to cut you off, but instead of getting angry or upset,
They move.
They move.
They move over.
They say, let me let this person in. Let me be courteous. Let me share. And then they blend it together and they come back.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's one of the big things I picked up. And I picked that up.
They have no anger, no road rage.
No road rage, nothing.
Nothing.
They're peaceful about it. And I picked this up riding in a cab.
Yep. In a different country.
In a different country. So it's not so much about, oh, I went to this, elaborate place. Or I didn't take something from the Palms.
Exactly.
And if you don't know Dubai, the Palms is the richest area. All right, so this is the man-made islands that are in the shape of a palm. You've got $30 million houses, $50 million houses. Beautiful, right?
Yeah.
All the luxury vehicles. So you think about it like your Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
Beverly Hills in America. So I didn't learn something from that.
No.
I learned something from riding in a cab, but it's the exposure, it's the experience, it's the different culture. And when I tell you, like, if you haven't traveled for your life, one, you need to start.
Absolutely. And I don't even care if you are still in your same neighborhood, just get out of the neighborhood. Get out of the state. I mean, you could start there. But I will say, going to another state, sometimes it's the same amount as it is to go out of the country.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when we're talking about we've been to Miami, I mean, Miami costs more.
Yeah, I spend money in Miami.
We just spent more in Miami, and we done went to Jamaica,
you can go to Mexico, you go to Costa Rica, so many places.
And spend that same amount of money. And so I just say, go for it. Get out of your own neighborhoods, get out of your own states. Even if it's just for a little bit, and take something in when you go.
Be intentional.
Be intentional when you go to these other places on how things work. Man, here in Dubai, I will say, they have so much construction going on.
Yeah.
But it is not chaotic, like you were saying. They're so efficient with everything. Their New Year's party yesterday.
You always talk about their processes here.
Their processes are insane. I wish we could adopt it in America, because I'm looking at, like, they had the biggest New Year's Eve party, bigger than New York. And so when you're looking at that, and as soon as it ended, New York looks like trash.
Yeah.
Complete trash, chaos.
They're
already cleaning. As soon as that New Year's Eve party is over, there's a cleaning crew. You look at those roads again, they are clean. And people are back out enjoying life, and no one has a bad attitude, not even in the service industry. Everyone has been completely courteous and nice. And so I'm like, when you get out and you get that exposure to different cultures and countries, man, it shows you what's possible. And then we like to travel because it helps us to reset, recharge, and to come back and now say, all right, let's hit these, additional goals we have. Let's continue to pour into others as we do. So, it changes your life.
But it's not only big. It's not only big for you. So if you haven't traveled and this is new to you, break that mold, start traveling. But if nothing else, do it for your kids.
Yes.
Get your kids. get your kids out of the country. Get your kids to go to different places. I mean, we've talked about so many countries and stuff that we've been to, and everywhere we go, we elevate, we learn something, we experience something, and you got to give that. You got to give that to your kids. They're so impressionable, and if you hit it with them, if you hit them with it now, hit them with it early,
Because I mean, we didn't get it early on in life, and so for us to see it in our adulthood, and our kids are seeing it in their childhood, it's completely different for them. Like I already know that our kids are going to go further than us, and that is the goal. Like we want them to be better than us, and I tell them every day, like you need to make an impact in someone's life, and even if you are having a bad day, don't you mess up anybody else's. Like change your energy, check your energy, and fix it. And it's your children are going to be exposed to a different level of lifestyle. They're also now inquisitive and want to know more about different places. It gets them asking, like our son this morning was even talking about like the different foods. When we're at home, what does he eat? He's like, give me a pizza, give me chicken nuggets, give me, chicken tenders, whatever. All the American burger. It's the simple stuff, right? But now he's being exposed to different foods. He's eating Indian, Arabic. He's eating all kinds of foods now, and
for some reason he wants to try it here.
He wants to try it, and he's like, "Oh, this is good. This is
good." But in America, I'd be like, "You want to go to an Indian restaurant? What? I want McDonald's." Like,
but it's exposing them to now. He's like, "Oh wow, I didn't even know about this food, and I actually like this food." So I mean, you're exposing the kids to so much stuff that they can now instill in their own children, and it just helps as you continue to live life and show them what is possible. Man, God's creations are amazing. God's creations
the
are
thing
amazing.
About traveling too is seeing God's creations. I don't care if you're a nature person, if you want to go hiking, if you want to go, kayaking, canoeing, rivers, like whatever, you want to see different. You've never seen the ocean. I talk to grown people. I talk to grown people
who have
never been on a plane,
beach.
never seen the beach. I'm like, you live in America, which is three sides of it, surrounded by oceans. I'm going to say the Gulf of Mexico is the ocean, so don't come at me on these comments. It's three oceans. And you can't... And you've never seen it? It's a short drive. Like, it's not even that crazy to get to. And so, like, just...
And the beach here is beautiful. It's beautiful. And we haven't even did a beach day. I mean, everything that we've been doing, it has been, like, travel. Like, we've been in the desert. Kids seeing the desert. There are people who've never seen the desert before. Our kids have seen the desert, played in the desert now, like all kinds of stuff. So it's, I mean, you open their eyes to so much. And even me as an adult, like getting out and seeing stuff and being like, dang, this is what God created? Wow. Like, I didn't even know this was here. I didn't know this would look like this.
The other thing that you might not realize too is different parts of the world experience nature differently. The sun here, you were talking about like this morning, you were like, the sun is so round. It looks like a perfect circle, and you can specifically see the outline of the sun. And it's like, and at night, the desert is the darkest place I've ever been at in my life. The desert gets so dark if it's not lit up. Like if you're actually in the desert, it's so dark you can't even see your hand in front of your face. It's pitch black, but you can see the stars like a dome. Like you can see every star in the sky, just
like an IMAX.
Like an IMAX, perfect, like an IMAX dome. And it's not like that in America. I mean, you got light pollution a lot in the cities and stuff. You can't really see it, but I don't know.
And don't believe everything social media tells y'all either. Because I feel like when you are thinking about traveling and you go to social media and sometimes you hear the myths and stuff, and it causes you to want to say, oh, I'm not going to go there. Like everyone was like, oh, you're going to Dubai? Oh, they're going to make you wear all these clothing items and make sure you take long sleeve and you need to wear pants every day. And it is nothing like that. If I listened to the stuff that people said to me, I probably would never go. And
you
so
let their negativity
I left their negative right back. I left it back in America. I said, I'm going anyway. I'm packing all the things. And even if I did have to cover up, I'm going to do that too.
Don't ever let somebody else's doubts hold you back from doing or experiencing things. Experience it for yourself.
Yeah.
And if you find that to be true or to be something you don't like, now you can attest to it yourself.
Yes.
You've experienced it. You know firsthand. And also be open-minded to take the positive from any experience, not just travel. Any experience that you have, find something in it.
Yeah.
Find something positive. Find a lining in that just makes you say, you know what? I'm glad this happened. I'm glad I was able to experience this. I'm glad I was able to see this.
Yeah. I mean, even for me, like yesterday, my shoulders were out when we went to the Global Village, and I had no idea. It's an amusement park. I didn't think I needed to have a shawl on or anything, but they were like, oh, there's a dress code. We need you to cover your shoulders. Not a problem. Me and my daughter, we went and bought a little scarf, a little shawl, put that on. I don't mind that. That doesn't bother me. It's not going to stop me from being able to experience things. I didn't take that as
one
a
change.
negative
That
and
one
be like,
change.
what?
Or as an attack.
What? So what's wrong with my clothes? That is never it. And I realize us in America, like something like that, some people would go off about it and make a big fuss and a big deal about it. But for me, it's their culture. It's what they do, and I respect it. And so it's no problem for me to put a shawl on, right? So it's just exposure and a change. And I like it. And being able to give the kids this opportunity.
Look, this segment is fire. It's not only fire because we're able to share our ups and downs, peaks and valleys with people, right? The show is Success Leads Schools podcast, and all I want to do is make sure people can see how they can become successful.
Absolutely.
I think a great way to do that is learning from our experiences, right? Seeing our pitfalls and things like that, seeing how we've basically been faced with life.
Man,
you know,
everybody is
and how we handle it.
Man, and how you handle it is what matters.
This new segment, I think it's going to be dope. I appreciate you doing it with me. You're so busy. I mean, between a TV show, between being an international speaker, between being a mom, a wife, between being a broker, you got so many different things and so many different people pulling at you. And here I come with one more thing saying, hey, but I appreciate you doing this. I know it's going to be beneficial to a lot of people. It's going to help a lot of people.
Absolutely.
But for each and every person that stayed on this, episode this long, I want to thank you. I want to share something with you, a gift, and you will find that we are going to share this gift each and every episode. But listen, I would not be where I am today. I would not be successful. We would not have a successful marriage, and I know you would not be successful and be where you are if it was not for God. If it was not for the love of Jesus, the grace and the blessings and the mercy, I want y'all to truly, understand, how good it is and how good God is. If you are in a place where you have been struggling, if you're in a place where you want more, if you've been in a place where you've heard about Jesus, if you're in a place where you are a Christian, but you just, want to rededicate and make sure your life is right on track, I ask, that you take a moment right now, pray with us and just repeat after me this prayer and, ask God to be your Savior.
Yes.
So, repeat after me. Dear Lord, Heavenly Father, I thank you for coming in and allowing us to be here, placing it on our hearts. Lord, I ask you to come into my life and to be my Savior. I know that you are the way, the truth, and the light. I know that I want to have life more abundantly, and I want to have life with you, life eternal. I ask you to forgive me of my sins, and I thank you for sending your child, Jesus Christ, to die for me and my sins. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. If you just prayed that prayer, I want to congratulate you. I want to thank you.
Welcome.
If you feel so inclined, leave a comment, let us know.
Yes.
Do not be ashamed. It's not to call you out, it's just so we can celebrate you. Listen, this next step and this next journey of your life, you know, being a Christian, sometimes you may not know which direction or which path to take. It may be a little hard, it may be a little difficult. Look, my Instagram, my contact information is in the comments, in the description. LaToya's is also in the description. Reach out to one of us, reach out to both of us, and just know that you got some love and support. And welcome to the family, welcome to the body of Christ.
Yes, my brothers and my sisters. And remember, it is not about being perfect, because he died for our sins. It is about being in community, and you have us here to be able to help you through this journey.
All right, thank you so much. Until next time.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Success Leaves Clues podcast.
Be sure to follow Dr. K on Instagram at Dr. K Washington or the podcast page at Success Leaves Clues Podcast. We'll see you here next time.